So water and iPhones do not mix well together because water and liquid can damage a motherboard. And in today's video, we're going to walk through how to repair this iPhone 6 and fix it. We only want to fix it enough to turn it on and recover the data, because water damage is only for data recovery. And you'll see why in today's video, because we're going to walk through how much damage a liquid damaged phone can do to electronics and motherboard and components. So thanks everyone for joining us here on the live stream. It's going to be an interesting video. Hopefully we're successful. This one doesn't look too bad, but you just never know with liquid damage. These can be a little tricky sometimes. But we're going to go through the whole process of diagnosing, repairing, and walking through the process on actually how to recover the data from this phone. So thanks everyone for watching. Don't forget, I will link to everything I'll use in today's video down below in the description. I'll also have a link to buy this t-shirt if you are a repair technician and want to show off you do data recovery, as well as some other cool stuff down below. So make sure you smash the like button, share this video with all your friends, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and I post weekly here different repair tutorials and live streams and stuff, so make sure you join us on this channel. So let's go ahead and get started with this case. Water damage is more an advanced level job. You do have to understand the fundamentals. You do have to have the basics already kind of down, like soldering, reballing, placing ICs, finding shorts and all that. So don't just try this if you've never worked on a board before. If you do need this, if you do need data recovery for your phone, send me a message down below in the description. I'll have the contact us link as well. You can just go to my website and just find the contact form on there. All right, so let's see. All right, so I'm getting a warning that hold on, let me fix my camera settings. Are you guys seeing any issues with the stream, like laggy or kind of video quality issues? I'm getting a warning that I need to change the resolution. So give me 1 second, let me try something. All right, everyone's saying it's fine, so I'll just leave it and ignore the warning. So, sorry about that. So let's go ahead and take a look at the motherboard. There's not much really to do here. This is a confirmed water damage case, and the customer just wants data, so let's get right to it. I don't want to spend too much time doing the basics, which you can see in many of my other videos. So everyone say hello to my wife in the live chat. All right, so as you can see, there's a lot of spots here with corrosion. Liquid and electronics are not something you want to mix together. So what happens is, a lot of times water, the water that gets on these boards is usually not pure. There's a lot of impurities in there, a lot of chemicals and whatnot. And what happens is, when there's electricity and that water mixed together, it activates certain chemical processes that creates this type of corrosion, as you'll see here. So you can see how it's hit in many different spots. And this is just what we can see so far. I haven't taken off any shields or exposed any other parts of the board. So yeah, it's but honestly, it's not that bad. I've seen worse. So where's my tool? So let me take this off. So one of the tricks to water damage data recovery is really just removing all the affected components and parts. And yeah, there's some more right here. So the top secret technique, it just literally remove everything that is not necessary for the phone to boot, including any ICs that are not required, like audio IC you can usually remove, flashlights, IC. There's like random ICs that are not necessary. So let's take a look under this sticker. Usually under the shields and stickers is when it gets real bad. Oh yeah, this is not gonna be good. I was hoping for a quick live stream, but look at that. Let me do my polarizer light so you guys can see where it's all hits. So the polarizer light really makes the corrosion stand out, which is nice about this. So if you have the money to spend, 150 bucks, get a polarizer microscope light. As you can see, cool stuff like that. And one of the things about iPhone 6 as well is that it's not necessarily water resistant designed, so water can get anywhere on this board. All right, so yeah, let's get started with this. I do see we have 15 viewers and 6 likes. So if you haven't already, hit that like button, smash it or destroy it. So what I'm gonna do first is kind of scrub away any corrosion that's on the surface using alcohol and a toothbrush. Although it is recommended if you're doing this, especially if you're kind of new to this, is take pictures so you can remember where all the corrosion was. But I have this here on the live stream, so. And I'm also on my preheater, which is set to 120 Celsius. This basically just warms up the board, which makes it easy to clean as well. All right, so this is the Touch IC, so Mason, Cumulus, PMIC, NFC. I think this might be NFC. No, I don't know if this is NFC. I don't know what that is, but audio IC. I think this is the other NFC chip. So what we can do is remove anything that's not required. So like the audio IC, for sure I know I can remove and the phone will still boot, because there's a lot of corrosion. So most likely there's corrosion under these ICs as well. And you can't really, even with the ultrasonic cleaner, you can't really clear out that corrosion. You know, you have to like desolder the components. So let's kind of clean up this area a bit. All right, there might be corrosion under here too. I mean, I see these test points here are pretty bad. Yeah, you can see. All right, let's remove the top shield first. So using my hot air station, I'm gonna set to 400. So the idea here is to remove the shield and see where else there's corrosion. Okay, yeah. So I found, in my experience, there's always corrosion under chestnut, which is the image chip, and that corrosion can also prevent the phone from booting. Not just from being shorted, like a VCC main short, but from like data lines under chestnut shorting with other lines and stuff. All right, so let me clear out that as well. I was gonna. So the thing is, corrosion, what it does, not only does it kind of eat away at the solder joints, it also bridges lines to ground or to other lines. So it's very destructive. All right. Let me remove this shield too. I have a good feeling it's going to be corroded under this as well. So yeah, hi everyone who's here on the live stream. Welcome. Make sure if you're watching to smash the like button. It really helps out the channel. It helps put this video in front of other people as well. Would you look at that? Some more corrosion. Looks beautiful, doesn't it? So yeah, we're gonna have a lot of work here to do. So this is a chip here I know for sure we don't need, baseband PMU, or baseband PMIC, whatever you want to call it. There's the power chip for baseband circuit. This one down here is speaker amp, which we don't need. So before I even try to boot this phone up, I'm gonna try to clear out the obvious issues. Yeah, so if you're watching the live stream, let us know where you're watching from. I'm in Las Vegas, Nevada. So if you're in the US and need a data recovery or mail-in repair, I do accept mail-in repairs from all across the country. We're located in Las Vegas. Or if you're local, I could also take it in. So check it out. So see, I removed the chip, and you can see how you can't really see it, but there's like this crud underneath. So usually what I do is I remove the chip. I'll scrub away any corrosion. Like the corrosion really gets in between a bunch of stuff. All right, I see Guam, Romania, near Atlanta, Georgia, New Orleans, New York. All right, there's a lot of corrosion under this one, so I'm gonna remove this one as well. It seems like whatever chips use a lot of power, a lot of voltage flowing through them, are the ones that hit the worst. So like power chips, like this one. All right, this is kind of moving around. And someone from the UK is watching. So that doesn't look too bad, but there's a lot of corrosion here. It looks like black sand, kind of like thermal paste. Okay, so this is Tigris. This is a charging IC, and this is TriStar. So TriStar is kind of like the controller for charging, whereas Tigris is the actual chip that does the charging, that connects the battery line to VCC main and the charging port line. So this is how. So a lot of people call TriStar charging IC, which is technically not true. this Tigris. But let's remove it because there's a lot of corrosion around it as well. And that will cause not only shorts, but also not to boot. And since there's a lot of power flows through it, it does get hit pretty bad. This one we will have to replace. Actually, it doesn't look too bad. Probably could have left it on. So I'm using the two Yule tweezers, 3D tweezers. They're very sharp and pointy. So TriStar was underfilled, so we don't, unlikely liquid got into any of it. So these are all baseband chips, and as you can tell, there's like no corrosion because there's not much power flowing through them, whereas some of these other lines do. All right, before I work in this area, I'm gonna check the other side. So there's a lot of corrosion here. All right, so that cap doesn't look good. I bet you it's shorted. All right, before I don't want to work near the CPU just yet unless I have to. Either, directly next to it or on the other side. So give me 1 second. All right, so next step here is let's try to boot this device from the DC power supply so we can see. Actually, it's still pretty hot, but let me put that off to the side. So let me get rid of this as well. So this is my thermal camera solution. Is a Seek Compact Pro with macro lens with my Seek stand, which is linked down below in the description. And the way this works is you just plug it in, allow, and so what I'm going to do, I'm going to put it here so you guys can kind of see what's going on. Then I'm going to use DT880 as well. See, iPhone 6. So DT880 is up here in the upper left. And I'm going to plug in just the board to the DT880. I'll have it on. And then, all right, let's take a look. So here's a thermal image of, oops. So one of the things about the stand is you could raise it and lower it pretty easily and then use the lens. So you could raise it up, adjust the focus on the lens, and then get a wider field of view, which is useful right now because we do want to see where all the shorts may be. All right, so I'm gonna push power, and yeah, I do see some heat right here. Can you guys see that? Like right here. So that's around the chestnut area. So I guess I should move it closer. Well, let's check the back. Is there anything obviously shorted on the back? Yeah, it looks like under PMIC. So PMIC is this chip right here with the Apple icon. So we're gonna have and then this chip is normal to heat up. This is the MOSFET. This connects the battery line from the battery connector to VCC main, and that's why it heats up. It does not short to ground because there's no ground on that chip. So a lot of people incorrectly think that chip itself is what's shorted, and it's not. So yeah, I was seeing heat in this area. It's probably this chip here. But you know what? Let's check what that is. If we go to ZXW, let's see, we have an iPhone 6 Polygon. All right, so let's see, what is this chip? We zoom in, we do see Mesa to boost, VCC main, PP3VO TriStar, Mesa, Mojave. So I think this is related to Touch ID. So we probably don't need this. Although this one above it is Chestnut, which we do need, because we do need to get image and backlight working. So we don't need a backlight. We do need image working so we can unlock the screen and get it working. So let's remove that IC. So what I'm gonna do is put these little copper shims on the CPU so we don't float that. All right, so I'm just gonna remove both since I'm already here. Might as well remove both with the same heat versus potentially having to reheat it twice. All right, so I'm gonna just use 375 and 65 air and see if this is enough to get these off. And point away from the CPU. You don't want to float the CPU, otherwise you're kind of screwed. So let me get Chestnut just because I have easier access to it. Oh yeah, look at that. So this is super common. There's a bunch of crud under here. So this is done. And then let me get this one here. Oh yeah, look at that. So underneath. So this is why when we say water damage is not for repair, because you can imagine how many chips like this are liquid damage. It's gonna be impossible to fully fix everything without like literally lifting every chip and checking under every pad. Very, very yummy stuff here. So the idea here is to kind of clear out this corrosion. Let me prep these pads real quick. Okay. You can see how the corrosion eats away at the solder. This pad right here is just like oxidized real bad. All right, let's go back to this. Although let me drink a little more coffee. Yeah, this thing is hot. All right, I actually need I'm gonna need a donor phone. right, so this is an old, I think one of my first long screw damage repair attempts from a long time ago. I didn't really know what I was doing. But what I do need is Tigris, because I definitely need to replace that. I think it should be good. I don't know. I don't remember the story on this one. Although I will need a PMIC as well, most likely. Here's another iPhone 6 donor board. Tigris is already taken, but PMIC is there. All right. Let's see what's going on with this. All right, let's see if anything has changed as far as oops. All right, push power. We have an 80 something milliamp draw, and there's no longer any heat right above the CPU like before. So we definitely clear that short. Although definitely we have a short under PMIC. Because I turn it off, the heat goes away. Turn it on, heat comes back. So yeah, and then for iPhone 6, like 6S and newer, the PMIC is underfilled. So whenever there's liquid damage, it's pretty much PMIC is fine. For iPhone 6, it's not underfilled. So liquid can get underneath and basically we have a problem. All right, so in this case, I'm not going to use a preheater just because I don't want the CPU being pressed up against it. So I'm just going to use my board holder. So add some flux. All right, so this is going to be tricky. PMIC is basically kind of like the heart of the motherboard in that it pumps out all the different voltages to the board. You know, the battery only provides one voltage, which is, you know, like 3.7 to 4.2 volts, and some of it comes in here, and this one splits it up into smaller voltages like 3.0, 1.8, and etc. Let's see if we get this thing off. There we go. So check this out. You can see all the corrosion here, here, and here. So that's not good. And the chip itself is also in bad shape. So I'll put that off to the side. All right, let me just run my iron over all this to kind of like clean it. So yeah, who here sees a lot of water damage coming into their shops for, you know, data recovery? Seems like it's more common in the summer because that's when everyone's going swimming on the beach, the rivers, and all that. And they think their phone is water resistant. All right, let's clean this up. So that's cleaned up. Let me, I need to prep this for the next, IC. So I'm gonna put some, I'm gonna wick it. So I use Super Wick with a giant spool, but I'm almost running out. But this works pretty good. And then I use these inverted tweezers, the ceramic tips, so it makes it real easy to hot air wick this thing. I don't like to use the iron to wick when I don't have to. I feel like there's higher risk in ripping pads with that, with the iron. So just hit the wick itself and kind of scrub. You'll see how it starts picking up the solder. Oops. So I'm going to snip off a little piece of the ends, add more flux, and then you push this back. That wasn't supposed to move over here. Alright. Alright, so wicking does help when placing the new chip. Sometimes if you don't wick, I feel like I have more trouble with placement. Alright, it should be good enough. Looks like I bumped, oops, I was out of view. Looks like I bumped this capacitor over here. I'll just take them off. Capacitors are generally not needed. And this thing moved again. That should be good enough. All right, so now we gotta, oh look, two pads here are pretty oxidized. This is where like the pad is kind of like rusted out, and you gotta scrape it to expose the metal again so you can solder onto it. If you don't clean this like this, what's going to happen is when you try to solder the chip, this layer of crud that's burnt on the top of it will prevent the soldering to happen. All right, that should be good. Uh-oh, what's that? Why is there a little solder ball right here? All right, there might be corrosion under all this other stuff. Although, let me replace PMIC first. So let's see. I don't know if this is a good PMIC or not. So let's see. And I don't know if I have new ones. Let me try this one first. I'm actually going to turn up the heat a little more. Since this is a donor board, I don't really have to worry about what happens on the other side. Okay, I mean, this looks good, so let's try it. I don't know who Sativa is, but said, how did the iPhone 11 go this morning? So I think Sativa is referring to the soldering course that I teach in. We did an iPhone 11 live tutorial and repair breakdown of how to fix iPhone 11 with baseband issues. We covered, step-by-step diagnosing process and all that. So if you guys are interested in learning how to solder and take formal training and a mentorship program, let me know. All right. So I need to prep these pads. Turn on my fume extractor. All right, so the idea here is to prep the pads so we can reball it and reuse it. All right, looks nice and clean. The question is, do I have an iPhone 6 stencil? All right, let's see if this one works. Oh yeah, look at that. It's a little dirty, let me clean it. Yeah, so the program is a 90-day program. It is all virtual, so you don't have to travel anywhere. And it's 90 days, so you will learn how to solder, diagnose, how to implement the service into your shop. It's not just like a crash course where you just get bombarded with all this information and then you're on your own. It's an actual training program. We mentor you as far as how to price things, how to respond to customers if they object to getting a board repair done, like everything revolving around the business as well, so that you get that ROI back, so your investment is worth it. All right, so let's So the question is, do I still get a lot of iPhone 6? For repair, rarely, no. For data recovery, yeah, I still get like maybe 1 or 2 a month for data recovery, whether no power or water damage like this one. I still get iPhone 6 Plus touch disease as well. Maybe like also 1 or 2 a month. There's just some people who really like their old phone and don't want to go through the hassle of replacing it, transferring all their data to a new phone, having to log into everything. It's better to just fix it and just continue on with their life. versus replacing and then dealing with all that inconvenience. Okay, so this is reballed. Let's put this away. So what do you guys think? Do you want to rate my reball on a scale from 1 to 10? 10 being really nice balls. Let me know in the comments. Alright, let's clean this up. I'm going to add a little bit of flux. I'm going to I got a 6.9 rating. I need a little more flux on this side. So now I just reflow them so they're nice and even, and then we're going to install it. Alright, so I don't remember the orientation, so let's check ZXW. So currently I have the board like this. Alright, so the dot goes here on the upper left. So let's do that. You also want to put a thin layer of flux. Sometimes if you put too much flux, you know, the flux bubbling and stuff will move things around and it'll just mess up your placement. Especially for a larger chip like this. And I'm going to use a lower temp. Let's do that 330 and 45 just so that it's nice and easy. Don't want to overwhelm it with heat because then it kind of moves around. Alright, the alignment seems to be good enough. Goal is to just heat it in circles so that it heats evenly across the whole chip and not just concentrated in one spot. Plus it helps spread the flux underneath. You can see how the flux is kind of oozing out from underneath. That means the solder is starting to melt. Alright, there it goes. Moving into position. Alright, bumped it. It's still yeah, so I bumped it and it was still good. So I'm just gonna wait a little bit. I don't know what that is. I'm gonna drop some alcohol. I'll cool it down so I can clean it as well. Alright, let's see, is this... So one of the main lines is VCC main, so let's see if that's shorted. before we apply any power to this. So I'm going to multimeter in diode mode. Hold on. Yeah, there's a short. Oh, this cap is not in good shape. Let me see, where else is VCC main? Oh, those caps right there. I might have to pull it. My mistake was not checking this before installing it. Yeah, that reading is way too low. Let me just pull it. Maybe I can do a clean lift and then reuse it if necessary. So what you don't want to do is apply power to something where there's potentially a short underneath PMIC. What happens is you might send 4 volts down to a 1 volt line that goes to the CPU, and that is not a good thing. Alright, so let me pull it, check the reading again. I mean, it could just be PMIC itself is bad. Okay. Well, good news is I pulled it and it doesn't look like there was any bridging underneath. So that's usually a good sign. Alright, let's check diode mode again. Oh yeah, they're still shorted. So maybe the PMIC was fine. But let me do this the proper way. And let's find that short. I mean, let me see, where are my multimeter probes? So what I'm gonna do now, I'm gonna try to inject voltage to find that short on VCC main because the diode mode reading is way too low. It is, let me see, turn on this camera. And what I'm gonna do is use my DC power supply is set to 4.3 volts, 2.5 amps. I'm gonna enable the output, and I have these multimeter probes connected to it. So you see when I short them together, 2.499 amps, 0. So let's see. So we're gonna inject into VCC main. What was I calling it? VDD main? All right, so where should I inject? I'm gonna inject up here in this cap, upper left. Oops. The goal is to see where is this short. I mean, that cap might be shorted too. Let's see, where else can I? Well, let's try in here. Oh, look at that. You guys see that? There's heat here, and there's heat here. Take a look again. You can see my DC power supply is pulling 14 milliamps, 0. 21 milliamps. So that is, so this is where it gets tricky using a thermal camera, because you can't really see. So let me get closer, adjust the focus. So I'm going to inject. Yeah, this, whatever this is, which appears to be this IC over here. So this is why data recovery is expensive, as well as you should leave it to people who know how to diagnose, because you do need to know what to do. You can't, just because you can do like audio IC doesn't mean you can do data recovery. You do need to know how to track down shorts and kind of have a process to solve these. There's like a million issues that happen all at the same time with liquid damage, so you gotta know how to handle all that. And we teach all this in the course, by the way. So if you want to take formal training and learn data recovery and learn the fundamentals, there you go. Look at that. All this corrosion here. Now this is NFC, so I might need it. So I'm going to put it nearby. And this one also was showing heat. So while it's still kind of hot, let me just pull it as well and put it aside, because NFC, so it depends on, I believe it depends on whether or not you have Apple Pay set up, on whether or not NFC is needed. Like if you have Apple Pay set up, then NFC is required to unlock the phone. Whereas if you don't have Apple Pay, then the phone will boot without NFC and you can unlock it. No liquid damage there, but I'll put it off to the side. I don't know what this chip is. What is this? What is this? So what I like to do is look at the name of the lines and see. I see the word Oscar a million times. Oscar, Oscar, compass, Oscar. Okay, so I don't know what Oscar does. So let's pull up iPhone 6. This is JCID software. It's also a board view, but also includes schematics. So I'm gonna look up. All right, let me put this in frame. Where's the board view? Oh, here it goes. So one of the nice things about JCID is you can click on a line and it takes you to the corresponding page on the schematic. Oops. So this chip is U2201, which is this one here. So Oscar plus sensors. So what does Oscar do? Oscar, carbon, phosphorus, magnesium. Most likely has to do with like gyro and orientation and compass. Yeah, so compass, gyro. So you probably don't need that. I'm just trying to look for keywords here. So carbon is the accelerator, gyro combo. Phosphorus was previous page, Mesa connector. Yeah, so it's probably something in with that. So my guess is we don't need that to boots. I'm just trying to think, should I just remove it anyway? Yeah, let's do it. Alright, so let's remove this. So this is what I was saying in the beginning of the video, is how a lot of times what you just do is just keep removing stuff until you clear the shorts, and then you can just come back and re-add just the bare minimum. Alright, so there wasn't any serious liquid damage here, so probably was unnecessary to remove, but should be fine. Alright, let's check diode mode on. Look at that, we're getting closer, 174. So we've moved up from 0.0, what was it, like 0.35 in diode mode on VCC main. I think the board is hot right now, so the reading is going to be lower. See, how long have it been going? Coming up on 1 hour. Alright, let's check VCC main again. 178. Let me connect it to my DT880. What do we get the current draw? Current draw before prompt to boot, 7 milliamps. Let's see if we can spot it. The Seek Compact Pro. So what I like to do is turn it on and off. See if I see something like glow. So you see here on the bottom, I'm turning on and off, on and off. Just to see if I see something kind of flash at me. Let's flip this over. Make sure you check every inch of the board as well. Don't forget there's components like on the ends of the little arm. By the way, it is normal for the Seek camera to click. I get like 1 million people ask me that. Is this it? Oh, I see it. It's right here. Oh, I think I see a pulse of heat. Off, on, off, on. Let's investigate further. So if we go, yeah, so somewhere around here. So like I said, audio IC is not needed, so let's remove it and see if anything changes. Sweet, it looks like we have 19 people still watching. So thanks to everyone who's here on the live stream. Make sure you smash that like button if you find my videos helpful. Also subscribe. You know, these things cost you nothing, and it's a way for you guys to show support. So if you guys can, also sharing this video helps a lot as well. So I'm at 365 Celsius with 65 air. Yeah, here we go. Here's, usually this kind of corrosion is what causes those small little shorts where you get like you know, like 10, 20 milliamp draws. Oops, I didn't tighten the board in the board holder. By the way, I'm using the Mijing, oh crap, K20 Pro board holder. It's real nice. It has 2 spots for boards. You can hold large boards and small boards, and hold ICs and stuff. All right. Well, let me clear out some underfill. I always forget to move my camera. I'm debating if I should get extra cameras just for specific, like one camera specifically for the hot air, the other one for the multimeter. I don't know. There's the oxidized pad right here. So I do see someone, Cloudy, who said 7 milliamp draw won't stop the phone from booting. And yeah, technically that's true. Although I've had cases where like it had a tiny short and it wouldn't boot. Although it could have just been something else preventing it from booting. But after I cleared the corrosion, I solved it. So let me clear out the underfill because I might need to replace that. And all right, let's check this out. So I'm gonna put this on my steel block so it cools down. So I have like a giant steel block here. It's 4 inches by 4 inches, and it's very thick. So it's always like really cold. So when you put a board on there, it kind of cools down the board real fast. But then it's way off here on the side. Let me show you guys. Or here, so you guys can see. So I always put the boards here because it's like really cold. All right, let's test this out. Oh, look at that, it's gone. So before prompt to boot, we had 0 current draw. Obviously, it's not gonna prompt to boot because we had no PMIC, but we've cleared all the VCC main shorts. So let's start the rebuilding process. So if everything is good, if we rebuild it, in theory, we should get phone to boot, but it's never that easy. Not never, but it's not always that easy. So I gotta redo this. So let me, oops. Let me just flatten out these pads, reball it again. All right. So yeah, this is very tedious. All right, let's apply the paste. All right, great question. We have someone asking, what fume extractor do I have? I'm using a DIY fume extractor. You basically just buy all the pieces together and kind of connect it together. It is basically an inline fan connected on one side, like the output or the vent out goes into a carbon filter, and then on the other side it has just 4-inch ducting, like tube, like aluminum tubing that goes to it goes from 4-inch to 2.5-inch to like a rubbery kind of hose. So that way it's right here on my, let me see, let me show you. So there's this hose right here that goes up to the vent. This is kind of how I have it all set up. So if you go to my website, vccboardrepairs.com, go to tools, I have it all listed there if you want to buy that setup. Let me know if you want me to make a video of how I have it all set up. I need to do one of those so everyone can see how I'm using it. All right, let's put this to the side. All right, let me reflow it one more time. It still has some flux on there, so I need to apply new flux. All right, I'll put this out to the side. I do need to prep the board as well. So I'm just gonna wick again. One of the tricks here is to hit the hot air on the wick itself, not necessarily on the board. It reduces the risk on overheating the board. You gotta be mindful with how much air you're using. I mean, how much hot air you're hitting the board. All right, should be good. Alright, so I'm going to install this, and then we're going to do Tigris. And I think that's all the major ones I've removed that are required for boots. Hopefully. Let's see. So I remember the dot goes on this upper corner. I do have a higher temp than last time, but it will install quicker. Alright, it's installed. Alright, this time I'm just going to let it cool down for a few seconds before touching it. By the way, I do sell this coffee mug. This coffee is how I like my soldering iron. Check out the links down below in the description. Alright, Tigris is not required for boots. I don't think I ever tried to boot it without Tigris. It just seems like it's a required chip, so. But yeah, we could try it. Alright. Board is still a little warm. Alright, so right now we're just going to check. Actually, let me check. There's no short on VCC main. Yeah, 359. That's a good dial mode reading. Plus, the placement looked pretty smooth. It didn't look like it moved a lot, so that's usually a good sign. All right, so board is plugged in. Let's check the boot consumption. No short before prompt to boot. Prompt to boot. And, oh, that's probably because Tigris is not there. Let me try through the home, power button, which should be, I just prefer ZXW. Power button. Here we go. Button to AP hold key con. So basically I short this pin to ground and it should prompt the device to boot. So here, let me do it this way. Scope. Oops. All right, so take a look at the DT880. Uh-oh. It's looping. So let's check. Huh. Now it's not looping. Is that booting? No. It looks like it's boot looping. Possibly. This is where it gets tricky, because a million things can cause. I'm trying to see if there's any obvious. Oh, TriStar's heating up. All right, let's try. Try replacing TriStar. Actually, let me check for shorts around it. Wait, hold on. And this doesn't look pretty because there's a bunch of flux everywhere. All right. No obvious shorts. Well, you know what? I'm just going to replace it. Yeah. So yeah, the boot up consumption starts high and usually has TriStar kind of behavior. Let's get this out of here. We got Claudio here in the sidelines, giving some pointers. Well, let me. See, Rodrigo said hello. Welcome to the live stream. You know what? I think I ran out of solder wire. 1 second. Let me prep these pads. I think one pad fell apart. Prep. Oh no. 2 rip pads. I just blame it on the liquid damage. Let me rotate this board. What are those pads? All right, we have TriStar. It's these two. TriStar to PMU host reset. TriStar. Yeah. So probably do have to jump these. It's weird they rip so easy. Well, no big deal. We could fix it. Welcome to the world of data recovery. A million things go wrong. I do see working on a A1706 flex gates. Nice to have some company. Great. I wish you luck with that. Those seem like a pain to work on. So what I'm doing now is tinning these pads or these traces so I could install a jumper to fix my, I don't know if it's my mistake. I'll just blame it on the liquid damage. All right, so let me rotate this so I have a better angle. This is a used jumper, so you can see some UV mask. All right, let's see if I could tack the second one down. All right, that one's installed. It's so weird being like a one-way conversation here, because I'm so used to because we have the training, we have 2 calls a week, and they're Zoom calls, so it's like two-way. Like everyone's in the Zoom call and everyone can just ask questions, and whereas here it's just me speaking out, and I could read the live chat, but it's not the same as someone being on Zoom and being able to just respond in real time. So right now I'm just kind of talking at you. Oops. All right, let's UV mask this down. So this is my messy UV mask. This is what I hate the most, is how messy this stuff is. Wish there was something better. Where are my tweezers? All right, so I have a few drops of UV on my blade. Now I'm gonna use my tweezers as my applicator, or like as my brush, so to speak. That should be good. All right, let me get my little laser lights. I was actually thinking of maybe setting up a live stream where I do set up a Zoom call and then share the Zoom call to YouTube. That way it's easier to, we could have people, interacting live. Let me take these out. Let's see. So this should be more than enough. Okay. Now we've got to install TriStar. Oh, last one on this reel. Alright, I've done so many, I know it goes like this, but it's been a while, so let me just double check. Go here, yeah, TriStar goes this side. Okay, so let's not mess this up. Alright, I'm gonna use (400°C, 80 air. Oops. All right, maybe let me go down a little bit. So this is a 610A3B. This TriStar is compatible with pretty much all TriStars except first gen Lightning devices like iPad 4, Mini 1, and iPhone 5, and not USB-C iPads. Alright, just because, why not? I'm gonna replace Tigris. I do want to just get this out of the way. So I like my micro pencil because it has that curved tip, so it lets me get in here, but it's not powerful enough. So I use hot air at the same time to kind of compensate. And then we're gonna get a donor. I don't have any Tigris in hand, so hopefully this Tigris is good. I don't know what's the story on this one, but it looks like there's flux already there, so it's not a good sign. I don't know if I trust it. Let me see, is Tigris cross-compatible? Yeah, so that's my concern, is not necessarily that Tigris is bad, but the board looks like in bad condition. So I don't know if it's a good, I don't know if it's been worked on. I just want to, does anyone know if I need it to connect to the PC? I do need to connect to the PC eventually. I don't even have Tigris on here. Yeah, since I don't have one handy, let's just skip that for now. I guess Claudio insists not needed, which we did prove already, but let's see. Short this pin to ground. Oops. I pushed this. I almost broke my stand. Alright, let's prompt to boots. So, look at that, it does look like it's booting. That looks like a booting device. Let's see. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's booting up. If it wasn't, it would have hit 0 by now. Good signs. All right, so now I gotta fix. Now it looks like it's about to fall asleep. So if it drops to a few milliamp, yeah, I think this is good. Let's put Chestnut and see if it works. All right, so Chestnut, I don't know the orientation, so let's go back over here. So we'll have the board physically. Where's the rotate button? Oh, here it is. All right, so Chestnut is down and to the left. down and to the left. All right. Do I have a chestnut here? Oh, I do. Now the question is, will we have touch? I have no idea, because touch ICs look pretty bad, and we won't know until we get some image on here. I'm going to use my preheater as well. My hands are real shaky today. Maybe I'm nervous from attempting this data recovery live, or I had too much coffee, or something. Yeah, the backlight dial looks bad, but should be fine. I don't necessarily need backlight. So just install this. All right, I'm just gonna wait a little bit. I don't wanna touch it too soon while everything's still hot and maybe mess something up. All right. What's pretty sure I have a iPhone 6 screen with no backlight. Oh, it's an iPhone 7 screen. Uh-oh. Weather alerts. So we have while we wait for the board to cool down, we have a weather alert. There's a dust storm coming here to Vegas. Stay alive. That says sudden drop to 0 visibility. Stay alive. It says pull aside. Stay alive. Oh, great. All the phones here are going to start going off. Fantastic. Let me see. Anything urgent? No. All right. Let's give this a shot. Actually, I forgot to get my iPhone 6 parts board. Yeah, that's life living in the deserts. Let's see, I don't see. Oh yeah, I can see the trees in my backyard is just blowing in the wind. All right, let's get this camera out of here. Oh yeah, the connectors are probably all messed up too. All right, I'm just gonna try with the battery and see what happens. I don't know if this battery's charged or not. Plus no Tigris, so no charging. I'm not seeing anything. mean, the battery could just be low. Where is my spudger? All right, let's go back to DT880. All right, let me turn off. Power button. Oh yeah, this power button is messed up. Explains a lot. Short the power button. Crap. Oops. There we go. All right, no backlight, but we have Apple logo. So let's see if we get to the home screen. Meanwhile, all right, let's just go with this. Where did the Apple logo go? Phone died out. All right. The beauties of water damage. All right, let me do this under the microscope. All right, so there we go. Got Apple logo again. I feel like I'm missing out on the sandstorm outside. All right, so you can see the boot up consumption still looks normal. We got an Apple logo. And it just dies. Fantastic. All right, it might, I know in the past I've had issues with DT880 fully booting a device. So let me try with the battery. Although I don't know if the battery is fully charged. Let me just check it real quick. We're at, oops. .4 volts. So yeah, this battery is charged enough to boot the phone. And yeah, my pool is covered. And what's up, Chase? How's it going? All right, let's see. Let's try the battery. Crap. All right. Let's short out this power button. I'm not seeing anything. The battery plugged in, yep. So yeah, it's not booting with the battery. All right, so I prefer to boot through a charger. I don't know if this boots with the charger. I don't know what it's gonna do right now if I plug in the charger. Let's see, power Z. You know what? I'm just gonna install Tigris because I want to. All right. Let me clean that up. All right, so let me get my new Tigris. So I have a folder here. You guys can't see. I have a folder with all the different components, and I should have a Tigris somewhere in here. I don't want to dig through my donors. Yeah, oh no, it's iPhone 7. I don't have iPhone 6 donors easily. Like, I'd have to be off camera for a few minutes to try to find them. So I'd rather just try to find new. Does iPhone 7 work on this? I haven't tried it. I feel like I don't have a donor that I know for sure is handy. But I know I had iPhone 6 Tigris here. Oh yeah, here it is. Tigris. My last one. This is so old. I bought this like when I first started soldering, just buying random ICs from Microsoldering supply. This is back then, Louis Rossmann had an employee, Jason, who started his own little supply company. It was a great store, and then out of nowhere he just disappeared, and like a lot of orders weren't being shipped, and here it is. So I don't know what happened to him. I heard he just sold the company and just went off to a different field. All right, so which orientation is this? I don't remember. Let's rotate this back. Bottom right. This way. Okay. Brand new Tigris. So there's a debate in the live chat about whether iPhone 6, iPhone 7 Tigris will work. And I have no idea. thing is needing a lot of heat. It should be installed. I'm going to wait a few seconds. All right. Does anyone know if I need, maybe the NFC's not being installed is causing it not to boot? I don't know. We're coming up on 2 hours. It's about 1 hour more than I was hoping for. Honestly, when I first saw this board, I thought I was just going to be one small area of corrosion. I'm like, okay, this is a simple one. I don't have to. I hate doing rabbit holes on camera because then I can't take any breaks. I basically have to finish it or not do it live. Yeah, I know NFC will cause the pin code not to work. All right, let's give this another shot. As I've used this housing so much that the power button flex literally just folded and broke off. So I need to get a new iPhone 6 housing for testing. I mean, I have one somewhere. Oh, well. Let me grip some alcohol in here just in case. All right, let's check USB charging. Looks like it's charging. Oh, there's the Apple logo. All right. So, actually, so you guys can better see it, I'm going to turn on the chart. We got lucky we have a white background and a black logo because it's a lot easier to see than a black background and a white logo, especially when you have no backlight like this. All right, let's get to the home screen. Oh yeah, there it is. You can see the time. Siri not available. I don't care about Siri. But yeah, you could. Well, you guys can't really see that. And touch seems to be working. And I push home to unlock. Oh, look at that, high contrast. I triple click home button. You can see the time. It's like a dog. All right, enter passcode. Oh, a swipe to unlock. Look at that, you guys see that passcode screen? Enter passcode. You can see the pin codes. Now the question is, what is the pin code? Oh man, this guy didn't provide it. Let me ask him again. But I think at this point we should be good. Hold on. I mean, I have the customer's phone number on their ticket. I should just call them. Oh man. All right, let me move this over here so I could see it if it replies. But yeah, I think, well, so right now, basically the only potential issue here is if it's not stable and it shuts off. But it seems to be stable. The charging seems to be stable. So that's usually a good sign. Let me try 0000. Didn't work. I don't want to try too many pin codes. But yeah, touch is working. So basically all I have to do now is get the pin code. In theory, it should unlock. It didn't freeze when I put the wrong pin code. So that usually means NFC is not going to be required. If NFC was required, it would have froze on the last digit. And it would have, yeah, I could try 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Nope. All right, I'm not going to try any more in case, in case customer needs me to try a bunch of them. But yeah, I don't know. Here it is. Enter lock screen. You see the digits. So the phone is working. So next step is to get the pin code, unlock it, plug it into 3U tools, run an iTunes, or yeah, basically a backup, a full backup. From that backup, I will then use, let me see. Yeah, I can show this. Then I will use this program. Once I do the backup, by the way, that's my dogs. Say hi to my dog. Oops. Wrong window. So after this, once I do a backup, I could use this program to scan the backup and get the pictures, videos, contacts, texts, notes, calendars, everything. It is a paid software, so you know if you do data recovery normally, then this is what you'll need. But yeah, I think for now it should be good. I'm not sure what else I could cover other than I'm gonna need the pin code. So I guess one lesson is to make sure you have the pin code before you start. You know, usually I require pin code to be provided, but you know sometimes they don't provide it, or sometimes they'll say it has no pin code, it boots up and it has a pin code, and then they have to check with the customer. This is a B2B job, so a repair shop outsourced this to me. So you know there's a middleman, and I have to wait for them to check with the customer, and sometimes you know they're just busy at their shop, or the customer doesn't answer, or. But yeah, this is fixed enough for data recovery. Like I mentioned, this is not a full fix. This is not something. Also, I don't recommend, if you're gonna do data recovery, you should back it up and get the data for them. Don't give the phone back to them in a working condition, because knowing customers, they're gonna take it home, play with it, and then forget to back it up, and then the phone dies again, and then they're gonna come back and ask for you to do them a favor and do it again. I literally just had this like 2 weeks ago. A guy came in for data recovery. He didn't want to do the whole backup process. He's like, "Oh, I just want to back it up to my iCloud." I'm like, "All right." Sure enough, a month later, he said he never got a chance to back it up, and the phone died again, and he had to pay again. I had to charge him again to do the data recovery because it was basically a separate job. So this is why definitely do a backup as soon as possible. Also because the phone can die again, you know, any second. I literally had one, another case where I got the phone booted up. I didn't have the PIN code. By the time I got it, the phone was dead. No matter what I tried, it would not boot. So that was a no fix, unfortunately. So yeah. Yeah, if you need data recovery, you want to send it in, whether you're your personal phone or your repair shop looking to outsource this to someone else. I do accept mail-in repairs for everyone, end users and repair shops. Send me a message down below in the description. I have a link to my website where you can contact me. I will send you B2B pricing if you're a repair shop, or if you just need a quote for the service. You know, it's a pretty streamlined process. As you can see, I kind of know what I'm doing here. So, and yeah, so I do see a few questions that I didn't answer. What is the temperature of your soldering iron to prepare the tin? I use 750 Fahrenheit, which I think is like 370 Celsius. Hello from India. And yeah, Rodriguez said, my Goldens are cute. Yeah, and then there's the, I'll do it myself. I do have a t-shirt that kind of goes over that. Let's see, merch. Also, don't forget, go to merch.vccboardrepairs.com if you want some cool t-shirts like these. Let's see. Here we go. I would do it, but I don't have the tools. Super common phrase you'll hear from customers. Do you even solder, bro? So make sure you guys pick up a shirt, a coffee mug, a hoodie. You know, these hoodies would work great against sandstorms as well. So yeah, thanks everyone for watching. If you guys found this helpful, make sure you smash the like button. We had 26 likes, we have 36 viewers. So there's at least 10 of you who haven't hit that like button. So you might as well click it. If you're not logged into YouTube, make sure you open up YouTube first and then smash the like button so you don't have to log in. But yeah, thanks everyone for watching. Appreciate everyone's support. I'll be here next week, or I'll see you guys soon probably. So hopefully next week. So thanks everyone for watching. I'll see you guys next time. All right, bye guys.